as we are stepping into the kind of autumn season. I felt like it was an appropriate time for me with everything that I've been doing throughout the year, and just the amount of time that I have to dedicate to the channel. I feel like I'm able to do at least a video per week, besides other things, to get back into the entire game. So I am doing videos again, and what I have decided to do for the beginning, so it will be a series of videos actually doing reviews of darker, gothic and just autumny decks for the season that we are now in. So there will be pardon me, so there will be videos on darker decks coming out throughout the entire season. I feel like it's been a long while that I've just been doing tarot and doing readings and just being in the entire game, and not necessarily just taking as much pleasure as I could in it and doing it just for myself, as I've been reading for others professionally and very intensely for the last year. So I feel like it's more of a passion project, this YouTube channel and what I'm doing with these videos. So there's a couple of things in the making that I wanna get into throughout the next couple of weeks, throughout the next couple of months. Another thing that may come through, which I'm still deciding, but I'm more keen to say that would be something, is actually doing SoundCloud and doing files on like scary stories and stuff like that, because that's something that I also really enjoy, and I feel like it's something that I really enjoy having discussions about. And honestly, if somebody is really interested in that, I would definitely like you to comment below, let me know if that's something that you would like to listen to, as those would be in the form of a podcast and a audio file. So let me know what you think of that and if that would be something of interest. But with everything said, let's start this series with a really interesting deck. The deck that I have chosen today, the deck that I'll be showing you today, is actually the Autumn Tarot. So this is the backing of the deck. I hope that you can see that well. The artist and the creator of this is Bethaline. I will definitely put down links to the shop, to more info about this deck. It was a Kickstarter project, or Indiegogo. Was it Indiegogo or Kickstarter? I think it was Indiegogo project back in, I feel like it was August 2018 that this came out, or was it October? Oh, it was October, yeah. I feel like it was October last year that this was put out on to be supported, basically. I feel like it was Indiegogo as well, yeah. And from what I know, the deck is available for purchase directly from the website. But I will let you know down in the description below, as well as the links to the shop and to the artist, as I know that she has sales in spring and autumn mostly. So I'll have to see what she has available in at this current time, and I will let you know down below. As you would have expected, the Autumn Tarot, even by its name, is themed in a very, I want to say, darker, autumny sort of respect. So it does have that feel of it being a darker season coming into sort of transformation time. It is that period of transitioning from one place into another, almost like going from life to death, and being in that in-between space where everything is sort of frozen for a moment. So it definitely has that feel, and I feel like Bethaline did an amazing job capturing that sort of idea in the cards, and just getting through and giving some really amazing things, and being able to just add a really amazing tone to the deck. The cards themselves are Rider-Waite-Smith style, so there is no kind of a fuss about it. It's just regular Rider-Waite style. So for anyone who is a newbie, or for anyone who is an experienced reader, I feel like this deck won't be a problem reading, because it has that sort of basis and symbology and the all-around kind of a use of the Rider-Waite-Smith template. The cards themselves do mainly show almost demonic style creatures. Now, I don't necessarily consider them demonic. What I would consider as a demonic description would be a lot of the pictures have like very dark eyes, pretty much black without any sort of white, or you have these ghost type looking things, and this is the actual idea of the deck. So each of the cards has a spirit, a monster, or some sort of otherworldly being connected to its essence. So each card represents a different sort of historical or otherwise folklore type creature that is connected to each card. So that gives you an amazing opportunity to look into each and every one of those, as far as getting a greater idea on what it is that the deck has to say and the messages that you're able to pull from the actual deck. So as I will show you through the book, I'll also read you a quick kind of a excerpt from the deck, just to kind of get an idea of what it is ultimately that you're getting with this deck, and what sort of messages you have. The book itself is not that very long. The descriptions for each card aren't very in-depth, but I feel like they give you a good enough jumping point to get yourself started and get some real basis to build on top of, and get some really amazing readings in the future. I feel like it's simple, and in itself I feel like the deck is pretty easy to read even without a book, since it is a Rider-Waite-Smith, and just like her Isidore Tarot, I feel like it's a very easy system to follow in that sense, and there shouldn't be much trouble understanding what each card has to say. I do have a really particular affinity towards certain cards, because they do represent things in a different manner, and I feel like when it really comes to readings and when it comes to understanding the cards, it's really interesting, because I, as a reader, haven't seen certain things and haven't noticed certain things that people have pointed out to me when I've read for them with this deck. And they have never read the cards before, and they were able to just pull meanings out of it. So I feel like it's a really amazing deck to just kind of sink yourself into and even meditate with. I feel like you're able to get some really in-depth and amazing information coming through. The card that I was really impressed by, and something that a lot of people notice as well and just got amazing things from, was the Hermit, which I wanted to specifically show you. I hope that you're able to see that well, as I don't know where I'm showing this, as I don't have a monitor on this, just a camera. So the Hermit is very interesting, because you have this man almost blowing glass, if you have seen this in the past. So he has like this glass that he is, I don't know, making a picture or some sort of vase or something out of, and in the actual glass you can see a skull that's forming in the kind of the shape of the glass. So I feel like that was a really interesting metaphor to use for the knowledge that you're able to kind of acquire when you are in that place of, what's the word that I'm looking for, when you're in that space of just not aloneness. That's not a word. See, my English, I haven't improved in that respect, you guys. I haven't improved in that respect at all. If anything, I've gotten worse. But I feel like the aspect of being alone and being able to acquire knowledge, not from somebody else, not from the environment that you're in, but from within, from the depths of who you are. And I feel like that's the skull, to me at least, represents that inner self, that center, that core of who you are authentically, and pulling the knowledge from there, even though it's represented here externally. So I feel like the deck in itself is really amazing. The type of reading that I have mostly done has been to a degree shadow work, but I feel like all around it's an amazing deck. I feel like for finances I have really gotten some amazing things. I do pretty much use all of my decks for everything. I don't have a dedicated deck for one specific thing, as I know some people do, and for me that works better, because when I do readings I'm able to just take one deck and not carry a whole bunch of them around. But I feel like for those of you, but the deck itself, I feel like it has an amazing affinity for doing shadow work in that respect, as it is like portrayed in the images themselves. But the way it speaks, the way it brings across the messages, it is very, very keen on shadow work. And I feel like it always brings that element of what's beneath, what's that layer that you're overlooking, or layer that's just slightly hidden behind, and it always brings that out. So I feel like it is an amazing deck in that respect. So all in all, I feel like for anyone who decides to get this deck, it is a real treat, especially with the Halloween season coming up and the autumn in general. I feel like it's a really amazing deck. One thing that I wanted to mention is that the card stock is not like super firm. It does have some sort of sturdiness to it. I kind of want to say like maybe 260 to 280 GSM is that. It's been so long since I worked in a print shop. Is it GSM? I know it starts with G, so that's all. But yeah, the cards themselves are I don't feel like they're laminated. I do think that they have just a spray coat. From what I know from experience, this would be just a spray coat, and it is matte, so it isn't like shiny, which is really amazing. They do tend to be quite slippery, as you can tell. They do slip around, so definitely watch out for those of you that use them on altars or just on a bed. I feel like that's a danger zone, because you're always going to find one card that's hiding beneath the cover somewhere, at least in my experience. So the deck in itself, I feel like is really appropriate for this season, and I wanted to open up with this deck, as this is my latest purchase as far as decks go. Sorry, my English again. And I was really excited to start working with it. Yes, that's the way to say it. Start working with it this autumn season and really get into it, and start the Halloween on a proper tone, as we are already almost there. So I hope that this was to a degree enjoyable. I hope to see you again in the next video. Definitely do let me know if this is something that does interest you, as I feel like I want to do this for the rest of the autumn season with some really, really gothic and darker decks throughout this month, and then just other decks that I feel like have that autumn vibe throughout November and December, and then see where all of that leads us. So do let me know, comment below, like the video. I have really missed being on here and talking to all of you guys, because I've really made some amazing friends on here, and just not being able to upkeep this throughout the time that I haven't been on has really been something that was really a pain in my heart, because it really was an amazing experience and an amazing outlet to get myself out there. So I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. I'm sending you much love, many blessings, and until the next video, bye bye.